appears that my bookkeeper, Kay White, has run off with the payroll. And she's also been fiddling the books.
Oh, Andrew, that's dreadful. How did you find out?
Well, I'll explain all that later, but the reason I'm ringing is that to protect yourself and the department, you must put in a written report today withdrawing your support from the work project. Yeah, no, please, don't interrupt. Look, the police have been called in. They'll be here any minute. So, please, Erica, I beg of you, put that letter in today. It's the only way to keep your name out of this whole mess. Something's just come up. I'll ring you back. Okay.
Sorry I was gone so long. I got held up.
Where's the money from the pay envelopes, Kay?
It's all here.
And all the other money you've stolen? You've been fiddling the books for months, haven't you, Kay?
Look, Mr. Reynolds, I can pay it all back. I had a big bet and it came in. I can pay back everything. I'll just give you the money and I'll go.
I'm afraid it's too late for that, Kay. The police have been called in. They're looking for you now.
No, Mr. Reynolds, don't bring them, please. Give me another chance.
Now, look, Kay, for many years you held a position of trust and responsibility with this company. You've betrayed that trust in the worst possible way.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
As far as I'm concerned, you're nothing but a common thief.
And what about you? Conning the prison authorities into providing you with cheap labor. That doesn't exactly make you lily white either.
I was trying to save the factory and the jobs of the people who work here. You've destroyed all that.
Look, Mr. Reynolds, can't you tell the police you made some sort of mistake? Look, if you hadn't found out about the money so quickly, I'd have returned it all and you'd never have known.
And if the horse had lost, the money would be gone and I'd never see you again, would I, Kay? I'm sorry.
Take the bloody money.
Okay. Going somewhere?
Get me the police.
Who's on duty at the factory tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh, that scheme should have been dropped long ago. It would have been, except for Mrs. Davidson. Have you ever wondered why she's so keen to keep it going? Especially after I told her I thought the women were doing other work on the side.
Well, she probably still sees it as a worthwhile rehabilitation scheme.
Do you think that's her only interest?
Oh, come on, Vera, let's not start all that again. I've got this roster to finish.
Yes, and it's much safer to keep your head in the sand, is it?
Oh, Mr. Fletcher, Miss Bennett, I'm glad I've caught you together. I've had to make a decision about the women working in the factory, and I have decided to cancel the project.
Well, I can't say we're sorry to hear that.
No, but it's a bit sudden, isn't it, Mrs. Davidson?
I've been weighing the pros and cons for some time. I intend to tell the women immediately.
I was wondering when she'd get round to doing something.
Okay, everyone, smoker. Yeah, I'd fill up while I can if I were you. I wouldn't trust the regular Tucker.
What, you mean with Lizzie on kitchen duty?
Lord knows what she's going to do to the food.
Oh, she's not such a bad cook, you know. She cooked me a real lovely meal once when we were living in the halfway house together. She made a wine trifle practically curl your hair.
Well, I see I'm not interrupting your work. Good. I have an announcement to make. Due to your abuse of the factory work project, it has been cancelled.
What do you mean, Mrs. Davidson, our abuse?
Your agreement to work on non-government contract goods. How could you think you could be so stupid to get away with it? That is all. Carry on.
Well, that's funny.
Funny? Got a weird sense of humour, Doreen.
No, I mean, if she knew about the other work, how come nobody's getting punished for it?
Isn't not being allowed to work at the factory punishment enough?
Oh, I don't know. You would have thought she'd stop the privileges or something.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't suggest it if I were you.
All right, you lot, move out. You're going to miss your days out and your little bus trips. I knew one of you would soon do something to ruin it.
You look awful, Vera. Why don't you do something with yourself?
Morning, Vera.
Have you seen this?
What?
The story about that bookkeeper at the Reynolds clothing factory being arrested for embezzlement and larceny. This is the reason for Mrs. Davidson's change of heart about that factory project.
What do you mean?
Well, now she knows there's a police investigation underway, she couldn't cover up the fraud any longer.
Fraud?
Yes, of course. She was prepared to sweep it under the carpet rather than getting her boyfriend Andrew Reynolds into any strife. But now that it's out in the light, she had to act quickly to appear to be doing the right thing.
Look, it really doesn't concern us, Vera. The factory work project has been cancelled, which is what we both wanted. I think we should just forget the whole thing.
Well, you can have that attitude if you want to, but I take my duty a little bit more seriously.
What are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to call the department and make a full report on the matter.
We'd better cut this article out of the papers before the women see it.
Rubbish. They'll find out sooner or later.
I still don't understand why Davo wasn't harder on us. You remember how...
Look, as far as I'm concerned, it's bad enough losing the job. Just think yourself lucky, Doreen.
Oh, well, I know it means a lot more to you than it does to me, because you've got longer to do, but I was just thinking...
Thinking?
You know?
That's one thing you've never been accused of. Why don't you go off and eat a chocolate or something?
Oh, thanks.
Hey, V, look at this.
What's the matter with you? World War III broken out or something? As if it would make any difference to us. What?
No, it's in the paper about the factory.
Oh, look. A woman's been arrested for theft and embezzlement from the Reynolds Clothing Factory, Kensington. The woman, Kay White, would... Bloody Kay.
Yeah, well, that's how Mrs. Davidson would have found out about that extra work with Mr. Reynolds and all that stuff.
Yeah, that bloody Kay must have lagged.
Yeah, and I reckon she set Nolene up. Just like Nolene said, we ought to believed her.
Oh, who'd ever believe anything that bitch said? Mind you, she might be on the level for once.
Well, looks like Kay's mucked up everything.
Well, I promised if anyone was responsible for the work project being cancelled, they'd be sorry.
Well, she might end up in here, you know.
She'll be bloody sorry if she does.
Hurry up, there's a good man. I'm the new social worker here. I don't want to be late on my first morning, do I? Hey? Oh, hello there. I'm Miss Forster.
Oh, Miss Foster,
Yes, I'm the new social worker here. Oh, look, you wouldn't mind carrying this for me, would you? Got a ton. Though one should say ton now, shouldn't one? Delighted to have the chance to work here, you know. Been shuffled around a bit by the department. Only a year off retiring. Wouldn't think to look at me, would you, eh? Been with them a long time. Good morning, all. I'm Miss Forster. Would one of you let the governor know I'm here?
I'm the governor, Miss Forster. Erica Davidson.
Fancy that. First person I met, eh? Should have spoken up.
Yes. This is Mr. Fletcher, my deputy governor, and Officer Bennett.
How do you do?
Well, I'll leave you with Mr. Fletcher. And I'll pop in and see you later in the day when you get settled in.
Righto.
Mrs. Davidson, Mr. Douglas is waiting in your office for you.
Well, I wish you told me so immediately, Miss Bennett.
Well, lead on to my office, dear. I'd like to get the feel of my new home.
Righto, this way.
I hope the office is a decent size. I've got quite a few things, you know. Bit of a collector. Like to have my own things around me.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Ted.
That's all right, Erica. I got here early because I wanted to see you first thing.
Oh, do sit down. Is something wrong?
Well, yes. We received a report yesterday afternoon from one of your officers. There were allegations that some of the prisoners had been involved in illicit work.
Yes, that's why the work release was stopped. I'm preparing a report for the department myself.
Well, unfortunately, the report went further than that.
Oh?
Yes, well, it was, implied that you knew about this work and turned a blind eye to it because of your, friendship with Reynolds.
So now I am to be subjected to a departmental inquiry, am I?
Erica, I'm sorry. You know, I hold you in the greatest respect, but unfortunately, once a report...
And I am sure Miss Bennett's strong implications were very precise and damning.
Well, yes, I'm afraid so. Well, of course, she's known to be quite vindictive.
Yes, indeed. Still, I can't deny that I knew about the illicit work some time before cancelling it.
Well, then why did you let it continue?